They're fantastic.
I gotta have one for Branson.
I guess what's your kind of initial assessment on Kansas State?
Really good basketball team, obviously really well coached. I have a lot of respect for Coach Mitty and just the program that he runs. He recruits to his system, and his kids understand his system. He's got a lot of young kids that have come in after they graduated, so many seniors, but they have adapted to his system really well. Obviously they can shoot the three ball really, really well. Terran Sides is a fantastic leader for them and an experienced guard on his team, and he's just done a good job of getting some athletes in there that can really defend, and they change their defenses up. I think that, I feel like every 4 years he goes through this because he retains his kids and they grow up in his system. And I actually really enjoy watching them develop and become what he sees in them, right? And so I think they're gelling really well. It'll be a really tough game for us.
Sorry, I totally forgot my question.
You're not 55, are you?
Huh? No.
That happens to me all the time. I'm glad to know it's not just me.
You just talked about how K-State's gelling as they've gone on. Specifically, I think Tess Hill is averaging like 17 a game now on the Big 12 play. Sides was earlier in the year leading them in scoring. What makes them difficult to prepare for from that aspect where these pieces are finally starting to settle in to go?
Yeah, well, they've got a lot of different weapons. They have a lot of people that can have big nights. We're very familiar with Tess. We recruited her, and we really like her game. We played against her when she was at Santa Clara, and she had a fantastic game against us. So I think she is really thriving in her role, and she's definitely a bucket. She comes in hunting her shots. But I just think they have so many weapons. They have so many different people that can shoot the three, so it's really hard to help in on them. And they know how to share the ball. They understand the system, and they change their defenses up, which I think poses a problem too.
You just mentioned the defense. I think in Big 12 play, all of a sudden they're averaging like forcing over 20 turnovers, scoring 22 a game.
Yeah.
Have y'all noticed something specific that's changed there as far as needing to prepare for that?
Well, they jump in a press, and their press is pretty active, and so I think that they play hard in it. They jump in between a man and a zone, so I think sometimes there's confusion probably on the offense's part, and so that can create some turnovers for you. But I think at the end of the day, they just play super hard, and they understand the defense, and they get their hands on a lot of basketballs.
And then going back to Saturday, you had mentioned after the game that you were looking forward to kind of watching the tape and seeing some things that felt like they weren't fitting as normal. I know you played them again, so you can't get into specifics, but did anything in a general sense kind of jump out when you did that?
Well, I just thought that we didn't play at a good pace at all, and I think that is huge for us moving forward in any game that we play. Our pace has to be much better. Our attack mode has to be better. We've got to stay out of foul trouble. That's probably the biggest thing, is that we just kind of got off kilter, if you will, because we were in so much foul trouble. We couldn't keep the right rotations on the floor, and I think we were a little hesitant. I know Snetta was. I think she was very hesitant because she wanted to stay on the floor so bad, and when you're hesitant, you usually foul. So just trying to teach them through that, but just wasn't exactly thrilled with the way we executed. We got to execute better, and especially against that pressure man, and not have as many turnovers.
One player for y'all that seems like they've really stepped it up in Big 12 play is Danae Fritz. I know y'all talk a lot about her defense, rightfully so, but all of her stats. Was there like a discussion there between her to you to her, or did she just step up after Christmas break the way?
So we actually, after Christmas break, we actually started looking at individual play and like what were areas that they needed to work on to help us be a better basketball team. And one of the things for Danae was to be able to be more aggressive to the basket. We saw her do that this summer in Germany. We know she can score it more than just the three ball. And so literally we've spent 15, 20 minutes, every other day on just little skill sets that we think can help them help us. And she was locked and loaded and ready to go, and she attacked the basket better than I've ever seen her attack. So I think just having that as an offensive mindset and being confident in her ability to do that.
And then as a whole, this group, it feels like outside looking in, I don't know if it gets to y'all but in these walls, but the narrative has changed so fast from pick 13th by these same coaches that are now kind of circling you on the schedule. Does the team get a kick out of that at all, or do they just block it out completely?
I think they're just blocking it out. I mean, they definitely know where they were picked. We definitely have a chip on our shoulder when it comes to that. But at the end of the day, we just have to keep performing and keep stepping up. I mean, they're not really concerned about it. They just know the next game that we play is the biggest game on our schedule, and that's what we want to focus on.
How excited are you? Just the general enthusiasm that the fan base is getting with regard to your program?
Yeah, it makes my heart very happy for sure, because that's one of the goals, obviously, that I had taking over, is that we wanted to bring Lady Raider basketball back to a place to where we would fill up the stands and we had a lot of pride in our program. And I think you're seeing that. I think we've got a lot of women's basketball fans in this area, whether that's women's basketball, high school basketball. They love the Lady Raiders. They love girls basketball, and we just needed to give them something to cheer about. And so I love the fact that people are excited about it again, and that they're coming in bunches to cheer us on. We need the help for sure.
So a couple things. One, turnovers. How do you stop the at least the early turnovers, do you think?
Yeah, I really feel like that's just on our kids' focus and fatigue, I think, played a big factor in that against Houston. I mean, I know that sounds like an excuse, but I just feel like our kids had a little brain fatigue, if you will. When I went back and watched the film, that's what I saw. I just saw lethargic movement. I'm not sure. I watched a lot of film with Hema, and it just didn't look like herself. I mean, she wasn't seeing the open players in transition. She was dribbling too much. I think she was trying to play hard, but maybe it was more of a fake hustle thing, like you're playing hard, but not with purpose. And so I think she's going to be definitely dialed in tomorrow. And I think all of our kids, they were very upset with the way they played. Obviously, we don't ever want to be upset about a win, and we're certainly glad that they've learned some lessons without losing. But I do think that our kids' focus level and intentionality will be better tomorrow.
And then what do you think over the course of the whole year, or even in Big 12 play, the second quarter's been your best quarter?
Maybe it's just adjustments. Maybe it's just our kids getting locked in and understanding, particularly on the defensive end. We can prepare from the scout, and we can think about how we want to defend them and talk about it, but there is always going to be something that people throw at you that's a little bit different, or maybe we didn't simulate it in as best as we could with our scout team. So I think the adjustments is one thing. I think our kids just settling in and being confident.
And then finally for me, how pleased are you with what Jalen Bristow's been doing the last 4 or 5 games?
Yeah, really glad that she is stepping up and playing more like herself. Started the year out really well. Kind of went through a little bit of a lull, but she got herself in the gym. She's been working. She's been working on her shot. She's been working on her skill set as far as like her post moves and things like that. And then she's been watching a lot of film. So, she's getting the fruits of her labor. We're seeing that, and that's how it should be. You want to constantly work on your craft to be able to continue to improve.
Coach, talk about their guards. Obviously, they're very talented for Kansas State. A little smaller. Do you have to take advantage of Tech's height tomorrow in the game?
I do think that has to be part of our advantage, no doubt. I mean, we want to look at where our strengths might outweigh theirs, and I do think that we have to use our length, use our height, and our athleticism against them for sure.
Just one more from me. I know, I guess it's National Girls and Women's in Sports
Yes.
Day. It's a long one. I don't think the day is until February, but y'all are celebrating this weekend. From your standpoint, why is it so important for girls at a young age to get involved in sports, even just from a life skills development standpoint, and then as they get older, if they want to stay in it, to know those opportunities are there?
Yeah, great question. And I just think sports in general is the best teacher of life. Like, it parallels to life so well. And, it gives girls confidence. It gives girls, a competitiveness that I think that they need, and it gives them courage. And I just think that sports is such a great teacher of all those things. It gives them a friend set. It gives them coachability, and learning how to work in a team. And then also it gives you daily discipline. I think if you grow up playing sports, then when you get older, you want to continue to be healthy, and you want to continue to be disciplined and continue to just exercise and finding that pickleball or whatever that might look like for you when you get older. But I just love so much what sports teaches you, and it just teaches you how to fight when the chips are down. It teaches you how to be courageous. It teaches you how to be confident, and I just think it's super important that girls get that experience. But also, I love it for tomorrow that they're going to see so many role models and right in front of them that they're going to get to know and talk to and just maybe model themselves after and moving forward. So it's an exciting day. All right, thank you guys.